A key issue to this issue of well-being also is this idea of nutrition. Going back to those needs, right? Brother Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Nutrition is important. Summer is such a critical time. And we need to make sure that young people have access to meals. To share more about new programs from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, we're honored to have a special segment from the Administrator of the Food and Nutrition Services, Cindy Long.
Hi, my name is Cindy Long, and I'm the Administrator of the Food and Nutrition Service. I am delighted to have this opportunity to share with you important updates about USDA's summer nutrition programs for kids and some wonderful opportunities to get involved. I also want to express my gratitude to the National Summer Learning Association for hosting this boot camp and inviting FNS to address this fantastic group. And I want to thank you all for the incredible work you do to ensure children learn. And I want to do my part to ensure you leave this summer learning boot camp as excited as I am about the opportunity in front of us to stamp out summer hunger. On any given day, about 30 million kids participate on and rely on USDA's school breakfast and lunch programs. And when schools close for the summer, they lose that consistent access to these nutrition meals. And I think we all know that the consequences of poverty and increased food insecurity that occurs during the summer are significant and they're sobering. You know, poor diet and poor nutrition and diet-related diseases go along with lower academic achievement, worse health outcomes, and more behavioral problems. So if you're concerned about summer learning and developmental loss, as I know this group is, then we have to address summer hunger. We're at a time of an extraordinary opportunity. Thanks to bipartisan action by Congress last year, we now have much more powerful tools to combat food insecurity in the summertime. You know, we've long had a summer program here at USDA that could serve kids in collective settings, but historically this program has only ever been able to reach about 1 in 6 of the kids that received free or reduced price meals during the school year. Now we have 3 summer program components, which will allow us to serve far more kids than we ever were able to before. We're calling this expanded suite of summer nutrition tools the SUN programs. We pulled SUN from the words summer and nutrition, and we're trying to really build a positive and uplifting and public-friendly image around these programs. The SUN programs now can serve families in 3 different ways. First, we're going to continue to support our long-standing program that serves kids group meals at central locations. They often have activities for kids to enjoy and developmental and learning opportunities. I know many of you are familiar with this program. We're now going to be calling this part of the SUN suite SUN Meals. These programs that provide meals in these group settings, which include schools and local government programs, community programs, faith-based programs, and others, are able to offer up to 2 healthy meals and snacks per day. And as I said, they often provide incredibly important learning and physical activity opportunities. They remain incredibly vital to the families we've served. One of our new options, which we're very excited about and which became available to start using last summer, is called SUN Meals to Go, which is a program component that allows for what we call non-congregate meals. And that means that providers can do parent pickup, grab and go meals, or even do home delivery of meals. We really appreciate the work that states and local partners did last summer to get this up and running, and we look forward to working with partners to continue the program this coming summer. Now, the third piece in this new suite of tools is something we're really excited about, and it's the Summer EBT program, which we're calling SunBucks. It provides a grocery benefit that families can use to buy food at the store. Specifically, eligible families will get cards worth $120 per summer for each child. So the SunBucks, or Summer EBT, will be available in, I think we're up to 47 states, territories, and tribes that have opted to start this summer, and we are thrilled to support the implementation of this historic program. Believe it or not, it's already time to be planning for the summer. If your organization has sponsored or has helped make summer meal sites a reality in the past, and you're planning to do that again, that is fantastic. Please keep it up. If you have an existing program, and you can consider expanding it to serve eligible rural communities through a take-home or a meal delivery option that don't have good access to the traditional program, that's another opportunity for you to get engaged. If you haven't been involved and you would like to, you're in the right place to learn more. There is always a need for new sponsors and support, including support for enrichment activities. And again, depending on the circumstances of your community and your programs, you could either operate the traditional Sun Meals or the Sun Meals to Go, or even a combination of both. So if any of these things sound feasible to you, please, please, please work with your state agency to find out how you can get involved in these great new opportunities. When it comes to summer EBT, while we are thrilled about the take-up of states, we have 37 in total, we want to bring other states along. So if you're in a state that hasn't yet adopted the program, maybe make it part of your cause to educate folks, leaders, about the importance of this program and the opportunity it provides for the kids in your community. As I said before, we have a remarkable once-in-a-generation opportunity to address childhood hunger at scale during the summer, leveraging these new Sun programs. And it will take all of us working together on all of the pieces to forge a better path forward for our kids and support them during the summer. And we are just so honored to be doing this work alongside all of you. And so again, I just want to thank you for all you do.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that important information without question. And in this moment, I get to concentrate a little bit on one of my favorite topics when it comes to youth development and youth development leadership. This is, how do we create these opportunities for young people to speak up and speak out in their communities, to show up and show out in their communities. I had the honor and privilege of moderating this incredible panel. Honestly, when I saw the lineup for this panel, I was a little giddy, to be quite honest, because I'm just like, this is an incredible panel, without question. And we're going to explore what it means to create true community programs where the young people, particularly and especially older youth, can design their own experiences. Wait a second, let me just go back. This is what we're talking about, without question. To design their own experiences to learn, grow, and serve. So please allow me to introduce this panel. Dr. Alfreda Massey, so good to be with you. Director of Education and Expanded Learning with the National League of Cities. Tara Wallen, Expanded Learning Partnerships Fellow at AmeriCorps. Come on now, we getting things done for America. Appreciate AmeriCorps. And Hikma, come on, you know how we do it. Youth Powered. I feel bad that I don't have my Youth Powered jersey on. The Youth Powered, without question. Hikma Shirka, Director of Youth Engagement with Every Hour Counts. So I'd love to start with Hikma. Come on now, please kick us off. When young people think about summer learning programs, like, what do our youth think about summer learning programs in this moment?
Thank you so much, Broderick. Hi, everyone. My name is Hikma Shirka. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Director of Youth Engagement at Every Hour Counts. I'm happy to kick off this amazing panel, and I'm really excited to specifically talk about what young people are saying about after school and summer programs. I'm hoping someone can share their screen real quick so I can give you some highlights. There you go. Thank you. So for the past 2 years, we've been working on an initiative at Every Hour Counts called Powered by Youth Voice. And we're working in partnership with a Minnesota-based organization called Youth Prize. If you can go to the next slide. So as part of this project, we funded 6 communities to bring together a team of 10 young people each, so 60 young people total, to reimagine future directions for after school and summer, specifically with youth at the center. And we wanted to do 4 things with this project. 1, we wanted to invest in youth voice and leadership. We wanted to co-design community solutions with young people. So we weren't just talking about choice, we're talking beyond that. What does it look like for young people to not only identify issues that are facing their communities, but also to be part of that solution as well? And we knew that in order to do that work, we as adults in this space have to think differently and do differently, right, by young people. So we had to shift adult mindset to share space and power with young people. And then the last part, again, this has been a 2-year process so far for us. It's about identifying promising practices and sharing it back with the field. And really excited to be here so that I could share some of the insights we've gotten from this project. Next slide, please. So one of the key components of this project was a national youth survey, and we worked with an incredible team of researchers at Informed Change and Hamai Consulting to ask young people what they find meaningful in summer and after school programs, what's missing, and what their reimagined after school or summer programs would look like. If you go to the next slide, you can see some of the themes that emerged from this survey. And we had an actual survey that reached over 1,000 young people. And we also did some listening sessions with the 60 youth that are part of the Powered by Youth Voice project. And I should add that the survey was also co-developed in partnership with a team of youth researchers who were trained to do that work in partnership with Hamai Consulting and Informed Change and our team as well. And I loved the comments from the earlier panel about love, because one of my favorite quotes that emerged from this survey was young people saying, if I were to reimagine after school and summer programs, you would feel the love when you walked in. And these 7 pieces are some of the themes that emerged from the survey. Young people said they wanted safe and welcoming spaces. They wanted it to be a space where they're preparing for their future, that balances learning and fun, that has a variety of engaging activities, supportive adults and peers, provides tangible resources. And at the heart of all of that, they want youth leadership and youth voice. And if you can go to the next slide, I'm going to give a sneak peek to one of the survey points. And I want to call to the first line. So when we ask young people, what do you think are the most meaningful activities in after school programs, and including summer, they said acting in leadership roles. And they specifically talked about this in the listening sessions as wanting to have a role in not just deciding what programs they end up in, but also having this be a space where they build key leadership skills, and they get to have a say in how these programs are run, what programs end up being implemented in their communities and so forth. So this is just to kind of kick off our conversation for today, and I'll talk a little bit later about what that could look like specifically for older youth. I'm really excited to be here, and I believe there's a 2-pager that's going to be dropped in the chat that kind of highlights some of the themes from the survey, and as soon as it is publicly available, we'll make sure to send it out to the NSLA team to get it out to you all.
So thank you so much, Hikma. We appreciate you without question. Elfrida, Dr. Elfrida, and we'll have Tara come a little bit after, all right? What is something unique about your organization with respect to what it's doing in the summer learning space? And what are some insights that you have to share about how we can support the whole summer learning space?
Thank you, Bradwood.
Please.
I don't know if you can, if you can see me.
I can see you. I can see you and hear you.
Okay, great.
Clear.
Thank you.
So good to be with you.
Thank you. So I'm the Director for Education and Expanded Learning with the National League of Cities. And the National League of Cities represents over 2,700 mayors and governmental leaders in cities and towns. And one of the things that we do that I think is very critical is that we serve as advocates for children and families. And we advocate that our city leaders and especially our mayors, that they would engage young people in government activities and engage them in leadership opportunities that would help them to, one, understand their communities, that would lead to economic growth and development, that would help to improve and enhance their academic skills. So we know that when young people are involved in their communities, that it benefits the entire community. One of the things that we try to encourage our elected officials to understand is the importance of youth voice. And that's why I really like looking at that survey, by finding out from young people what's most important to them as it relates to summer learning. So we try to encourage our mayors to provide opportunities for youth to get involved with civic learning. We also know that many times some of the learning opportunities in cities are initiated by the local school districts. And what we try to do is to encourage more collaboration and cooperation among all city agencies, whether it's the school system, nonprofits, private, the corporate community, because we believe that all of those entities can work together, should work together to create a vision for summer learning that not only improves families, but improves the entire community. So some of the things that we think about and that we know that mayors are doing that I think are unique is that we have some cities where they're providing opportunities for young people to actually partner with their mayor's office and to work in their mayor's office during the summer. There are opportunities for young people to be involved in developing summer community programs, and again, providing opportunities for community service and community learning, where young people have the opportunity to be leaders in their own learning experiences. One of the things that we know is that many young people don't know about the resources in their own communities. So we try to provide opportunities for young people to not only get to know their neighborhoods, but opportunities for them to develop social skills and to work with young people that they may not know. We know that a lot of families are thinking now about summer learning, and for a number of our young people who will be involved in summer learning, it's a difficult experience for them because they've spent 9 to 10 months of the year with the same social group, with their friends in a very comfortable environment. So the summer may be an opportunity then for them to be engaged with young people from other parts of their communities. So they get to learn new social skills. We also know that some students have separation anxiety, just, thinking about those, making the change in the summer. What am I going to do in the summer? And do I have to start all over with the new social group and meeting new friends? So we believe that there are opportunities when we provide summer learning opportunities for young people to help them to deal with social and emotional skills, as well as mental health challenges. What the last thing I would say is that we help mayors to understand that when young people are engaged in their communities, they become more connected with the world around them. They develop a stronger sense of agency and student efficacy, and they know that they have ownership over their futures. We believe that summer youth programs excuse me, support improving the life outcomes for our youngest citizens, not just for adults. And it helps to improve the quality of life in our cities, our neighborhoods, and our families. So the last thing I would say is that we know that partnering with youth and providing opportunities for youth will help them to grow their own leadership skills. And it also helps those leaders to understand and to hear the perspectives of young people in their communities, because we know that they are the community and that they are leaders and have the skills to become leaders in their communities.
Dr. Massey, thank you so much for giving us some insight into what cities are doing in this space, for sure. We appreciate you and your partnership and your fellowship.
Thank you.
Tara, so a former AmeriCorps director, like, I know it's something special about putting on that gray sweatshirt and having the A on your shoulder, getting things done for America. Please let us know what AmeriCorps is doing in the summer learning space, or any insights you have for the audience.
Yeah, thanks, Broderick, and thanks for having me. For those of you who may be less familiar with AmeriCorps than Broderick is, AmeriCorps is the federal agency for service and volunteerism. So we provide direct funding to national, state, and local organizations to design kind of people power-centered activities that meet the needs of their community. So we support things that span from housing, the environment, providing access to food and water, helping advance economic mobility, but our largest investments are in education. So we have about 50,000 AmeriCorps members and our AmeriCorps seniors volunteers, including our foster grandparents, who are serving in more than 10,000 schools across the country, and then thousands more Boys and Girls Clubs, after-school programs, community centers, summer camps. So I often say, we say as an agency, when America calls, AmeriCorps answers. And we see that time and time again over the last 30 years that we've existed as an agency. So AmeriCorps is a people-powered endeavor. We are all about getting people to the places that they're needed. And so there's a couple things I just want to make sure this group is aware of. One, there is the idea of applying for AmeriCorps funding to start, expand, or sustain a summer learning program. We generally release funding opportunities in the late summer or early fall, and then decisions are made in the spring. So it's a little late if you're thinking about designing something new for this summer, but should definitely be something you're starting to think about as you're learning this summer from your programs, from your staff, from the students that you're serving, if you want to come in and apply for AmeriCorps funding to sustain your program next summer. The other thing you can do is actually look for existing AmeriCorps programs in your community and see if there are ways that you can collaborate, particularly if you are looking for staff or adults to help in your program. So you may have a program, you're ready to go, and you are looking for people to help lead those opportunities. AmeriCorps members and AmeriCorps alumni are a great source of people power. They're folks who have been working in communities, they've had training and support. And so I dropped 2 links in the chat. I would encourage you to check out the service report for your state. If you click into those reports, you can actually go all the way down to an individual site level. You can see which programs are in the community center in your city, which programs are in the school in your city, and you can make direct contact with those programs to see if there are ways to partner. Maybe they are running school-based school year programs, but they're looking for opportunities for their members to serve in the summer. It's a great opportunity to connect with them. And then every state has what's called a state service commission, which is a state level entity that has funding and helps kind of grow and sustain AmeriCorps programs within those states. So those are the 2 best ways to look up and see where AmeriCorps is already powering student support in your community. So I would encourage you to do that. And then I know we're going to get into this later, but the other thing is I think sometimes people think AmeriCorps is something that people go out of their community to serve, or you can't serve until after you go to college or until you're older, maybe when you're changing careers. But many AmeriCorps programs allow folks to start serving at ages 17 or 18. So there are opportunities for older high school students or recent graduates to serve. So I know we're going to dig more into that, I think, on the next question. But I think you can think of AmeriCorps both as a source of funding and people power to run your programs, but also as an opportunity to create those service and leadership opportunities that we heard Hikma talking about that young people are looking for. So excited for the rest of the conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tara. Of course, we know it's the highest form of summer learning when you have those opportunities to contribute and to explore your interests and all of those pieces without question. We also know that summertime is a good time for older youth to explore their interests and the things that they care about, and to have that be at the center. I'd love for the panel to talk about what opportunities do you want to lift up and highlight that are great opportunities or experiences for teens and older youth in the summertime. And maybe I'll start with Dr. Massey at this time.
Thank you. One of the things that we know is that many of our older youth have become disengaged from school during school and can't participate in summer programs because they need to earn money to support themselves or their families. So I like to just propose that we really think about opportunities for earning and learning. And I think that's one of the most important thing that we encourage our mayors to do is to think of summer youth employment programs. And I'd like to just share a few examples and the benefits of that. We know that with summer youth employment programs, there are opportunities for some of our older youth to help younger children. There are opportunities to serve on youth advisory boards and councils, opportunities for them to help seniors and to help disabled persons in the community. And, you know, as we know, our young people are very creative. So designing and developing opportunities where they can earn money as well as by using their creative skills, their designing skills, helping to improve community programs, and even working and doing simple tasks such as data entry. So I'll just give a few examples. One of the ones that stands out to me most is Charlotte Mecklenburg's youth engagement program. It's called the Mayor's Youth Employment Program. And again, in the mid 80s, the then Mayor Harvey Gantt developed a framework for a program to support upward mobility for Charlotte youth. And this vision was the start of his Mayor's Youth Employment Program. So it's dedicated to providing students with career experiences that help them to think about and develop their career goals, to stay in school, to achieve academically, as well as enhance social skills. And as in many of the other cities, they've developed partnerships with employers in the private, public, and non-public sectors who can provide these one-of-a-kind experiences for young people. Another example of a smaller city is the village of Broadview, Illinois. We have Mayor Katrina Thompson is committed to working collaboratively with what she considers to be all of the pillars of their community. That is libraries, park and rec, schools, and local businesses to engage young people between the ages of 14 and 21 in summer youth programs. And they've made a significant commitment to hire students and pay them for the work that they do. And again, most of the students are working directly in their offices, which again is another opportunity for them to learn how government works, to contribute to their communities, and to find out resources in their communities that can actually benefit them and their families. And then the last examples I would give, I live in the state of Maryland, and Maryland has many examples of summer youth employment programs. One particular program is sponsored by Baltimore City. It's called Youth Works. And that's a summer program where they connect youth, again, between the ages of 14 and 21 with summer jobs at private, nonprofit, and governmental employers. We have Johns Hopkins Hospital, just an example again of how a community resource works with the government as well. They have a program, it's called Johns Hopkins Medicine Summer Jobs Program, and it exposes underrepresented and diverse youth to healthcare careers by providing them with summer jobs in the health career field. And then another example is that the Community College of Baltimore County has a program that's called Learn, Earn, Achieve, and Progress. It's called the LEAP program. They provide opportunities for out-of-school young adults to receive training, to receive their GED, to engage in workforce preparation, and to develop competencies and credentials that can lead to entry-level employment. And again, they're getting paid to learn as well as to gain new skills and abilities that are going to help them as well as the careers. So what we know is that when you have programs like some of the examples that I mentioned, they not only benefit the participants, they not only benefit the agency that's hiring our young people, but the entire community benefits.
Thank you, Dr. Massey. We appreciate you without question. I know, Tara, you kind of just jumped out there with the opportunities for older youth. So I'd love to have you be the center of the sandwich here.
Yeah. I was jotting down as Hikma was talking, because I think that data is so helpful as we think about what young people want to see in the opportunities they're provided. And the top three things she mentioned were leadership, acting in leadership roles, learning to manage money, and engaging in social justice issues. And I can't think of many other things that do all of those outside of AmeriCorps. Members serving in AmeriCorps receive a stipend for their time. They also receive access to an education award that they can either use to pay for higher education or to pay back student loans, depending on where they might be in their educational journey. And that provides, you know, as Dr. Massey was just talking about too, real opportunities to both earn income, but also to think about how you want to use that money and to manage it. And I'm going to highlight one opportunity where even more concretely, you get to work with a team on managing money during the summer. But AmeriCorps provides those opportunities to serve, but also earn, to recognize the contributions that you're making to your community. And so there are a couple of different ways older youth can engage with AmeriCorps. First, there are a number of AmeriCorps programs that recruit 17, 18, 19-year-olds to serve over the summer. So I'm going to drop an example of one of those in the chat called Generation Teach. So Generation Teach is open to 17-year-olds and above. So, and that's 11th grade or above. So it can be current high school students or recent graduates that then are engaged in summer learning programs with elementary and middle school students. So Generation Teach is a great example of where you are serving, meeting the needs of the community, but you're also building up your own skills, your own resume, you're earning a stipend, you're earning some college credit, you're earning an education award. And it's a great opportunity to explore if you want to work in education or if you want to study education later on, to give you that opportunity to lead a classroom and see what that might be like as you're figuring out what you want to do next. So Generation Teach is actually still looking for summer fellows through the middle of March. They're in DC, Boston, Denver, Providence, and depending on those locations, some offer housing opportunities and some might be for local students or folks who can stay locally. So encourage you to kind of look out, see what those programs are in your community. The second is a program, great, somebody from Generation Teach is on. The second thing I wanted to highlight is that AmeriCorps actually runs a program called NCCC, and we offer a summer opportunity. So NCCC is a team-based residential program. The summer opportunity is for 3 months, but this gives young people ages 18 to 26 a real opportunity to live, serve, and work together. So you are a team, you are tasked with focusing on projects that address environmental issues, housing issues, economic mobility issues. You're able to travel around to different places as a team. You shop for your groceries together, your budget, how you're going to use your team's money. You as an individual earn a stipend and your education award, but it gives you a real opportunity to meet people who may be different than you, from communities that are different than yours, but to grow and learn from each other during service. And it's a great opportunity for somebody who may be finishing high school and they know what's coming next and they're waiting to go do something in the fall. They can serve during the summer. Or maybe a great opportunity for somebody who's not quite sure what they want to do after high school, but they want the opportunity to test something. They want to try different things. They want to try living in a new community and see what it's like. AmeriCorps NCCC is a great way to do that. And we are still accepting applications through the end of the month. So I'm going to drop the link to that in the chat as well, but encourage any of you, maybe you served students and they've aged out, they may not be the group of students that you're serving, making sure you're thinking about those kids who were in your program and now might not be. How are you continuing to make sure they're aware of opportunities to become a leader, to grow, to serve their community?
Thank you so much, Tara. We appreciate you. Hikma, any thoughts in that space?
Yeah, I'll try to keep it short as well, because I think you both shared incredible opportunities for young people. And I love the conversation about compensation, because one of the struggles with summer, particularly with older youth, is that we're competing with job opportunities, right? A lot of older young people are finally eligible to start working, want to support their families. And so as we're thinking about opportunities for them to do internships or jobs or whatever it is that we provide, equitable compensation is really important. And I want to challenge us to think a little bit differently about the way that we do normal programming as well, right? We know that we have limited funds when it comes to having youth internship opportunities or paid job opportunities for young people, but we do know that we would rather have young people in summer programming than we would, them working at a local grocery store, because we know that we can help build important skills in this space. I loved the hashtag I saw in the chat earlier of like earning and learning, and we're able to provide that. So as you're having some regular programming going on, what are some opportunities that you can provide for young people to lead certain activities or to have other leadership roles? And young people are the ones that will tell you what roles they want to play in that. So how can we make sure that we're giving opportunities or spaces for young people to lead in existing programming is also really important. And again, how can we make space for compensation? And we talk a lot about workforce issues. We talk about, providers being overworked. And we have the opportunity to leverage youth leadership as a way to kind of lessen the load of providers as well in this space. So again, I love all of the opportunities shared, but again, please think about the ways that we can make space for that in other programming that you already have existing as well.
Thank you so much, Hikma. We appreciate that. I know we're coming close to time, but I'd love in closing of this panel that has me, my mind just sort of flowing with respect to how do we get young people more access to these experiences that you all described. And as we make a shift from, building it and hoping that they'll come to real true agency and young people being involved in their own growth and development. What else is possible out there? Like, what else can we do? If there's something that we need to do differently, what would that be as we try to move to a space where young people have the control and agency in their experience? And I'll just pose anyone.
I don't mind starting.
Please.
I think we're only limited by our imagination. I don't think there are any limits. I think if we think it's important enough to provide summer opportunities for our youth, then we can make it happen. I really believe that we are only limited by when people are thinking about, well, whose responsibility is it to do the work? Because many cities, many agencies consider it someone else's responsibility, and we think it's optional. However, probably most of us on this call had opportunities at some point in our lives to be involved in summer programs. And for many, including myself, that opportunity was really what gave me the vision to begin to get involved in education and to get involved in teaching. Because there were many at the time, there were other federal programs or other dollars, especially for underrepresented and minority and rural communities. There were opportunities to provide summer, and again, I'm thinking about summer employment opportunities, summer camps, summer programs, summer tutoring, summer learning opportunities. And some of those opportunities, again, help people to develop more self-confidence, to begin to see themselves in a role outside of their local neighborhoods or their families or their communities. It gives them ideas of how they might, again, just in terms of their future growth and development or future career. So I think that educators, especially superintendents and mayors in our space, should engage in more collaborative visioning, not just planning, but creating a vision for summer programs that connects to providing opportunities for students in many areas, whether it's the arts, engaging in physical activities, increasing academic success, or workforce development. I think there is no limit. And again, I'll say we're limited by our own thoughts.
Thank you so much, Dr. Massey. There really is no limit. I think we're gonna close right there. With that idea, there is no limit with respect to what we do, how we do, and we already know the why. It's important to get young people access to the experience of youth voice, choice, and agency. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. What a great conversation. I know I've been moved. Hopefully you have been as well. I'm just peeking at the chat. I see folks have lots of thoughts to share. We appreciate that. What a terrific day one of this boot camp. And I know we all connected and learned a lot, and we're moved without question. Thanks again to our amazing sponsors, Wallace, Waterford, STEM Sports, the Achievery, San Francisco Human Rights Commission, Engage Every Student, National Inventors Hall of Fame. We appreciate you. It would not be possible without you. Look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for day 2 of the boot camp. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.